Hello everyone, my name is Just Missioner from Off Meta Builds, and today I would like to share with you my endgame Chronomancer Cast on Ignite build. I'd like to start by saying the initial version of this build that I saw, the one that inspired me to play this, was created by Artborn on YouTube. That was the first place that I've seen this build. I've changed a few things just to kind of make it my own and kind of discovered some things along the way. But yeah, today we're going to talk about why this build is fun. I've been enjoying it. This has been kind of the build that I've been maining through the second half of the season so far. I'm clearing tier 15 maps, no problem. Farmed a tremendous amount of currency. I've been spending quite a bit of currency on some alts that I'm working on, some different builds that I want to showcase. Builds that were not inspired by everybody else. My next build is going to be entirely my own. So, but yeah, this has been a ton of fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's capable of doing all the content in the game. I'm doing tier 15 maps, no problem. I'm doing pinnacle bosses, no problem. And yeah, so we'll go over what makes this build unique and obviously non-meta. So I'd like to start by talking about why we chose Chronomancer. So we're scaling damage a couple ways here, and Chronomancer's primarily for our defensives, but it has a few things that help scale the damage, and we'll talk about that. I really love this right here. Our recoup effects instead occur over 4 seconds. Usually it's 8 seconds, so this cuts our recoup entirely in half, which is really, really nice. I have a ton of energy shield, more energy shield than life. And the reason why is this unique here. Damage taken recouped as life is also recouped as energy shield. So when we're taking, and then 8% of damage recouped as life, we are taking some nodes. We're going to jump into the passives in a little bit here, but we are taking recoup nodes. I have a bit of recoup, 30%, that's applied to my energy shield. So this build's incredibly tanky. Also our damage, so that's primarily our defenses, is our energy shield, life, and our recoup. We are also using temporal chains, which is causing enemies to be slowed. And another reason why we've gone chrono is we have more slows. The magnitude of our slows is important. The more slowed an enemy is, the more damage we will do to them. We're primarily scaling damage with Ignite, slows, and then Comet for a single target. So yeah, I'll jump right into the skill gems. So our main damage dealer is coming from our Ignite. We're using Incinerate to make that happen. We are supporting Incinerate with Controlled Destruction for more spell hit damage. We're not scaling with crit. I have seen a variation of this build that does scale crit, and I think the more we play this and the more we get into endgame content to really get our farm down, I might switch in the future, but this has carried me from leveling up to here so far. You can do this with a 4 link, no problem. I've just had no issues getting 5 links, getting the perfect jeweler's orbs. They've been dropping like candy, so but you can very easily scale this with 4, that's no problem. So we're going Controlled Destruction. We're supporting it with Considered Casting, just to have more damage. The cast speed is not important. It's a channeled ability, so more damage the longer we channel. It's nice when we channel after a minute, and it starts dropping fire on the ground, which is really nice before a boss. You can precast this and just lay out fire. It's really nice. Fire Mastery, of course, for the level 2 supported skills. And then when we're mapping, we're using magnified effect, just for more area. When we're bossing, we're going to swap it out with concentrated effect, just like so. It just gives us more damage. So this is a cast on Ignite build. This build requires an absolute ton of spirit. I played cast on Ignite all the way until Act 6 or Act 3 Cruel, and I got the final spirit, the free spirit, and then I equipped Blasphemy. That's how I leveled. I actually found it to be a ton of fun. You could skip cast on Ignite until the end game. We'll talk a little bit about that in the gearing section. But for now, at the end game, we are using cast on Ignite, which is going to cast this spell, Comet, which is the main spell we're socketing into it, when we ignite an enemy, and that's all we're doing is igniting enemies. And it will rain comets down. So we're putting comet in our cast on Ignite. We're supporting it with impetus, just for that 40% increased energy. We need the energy. We build up our energy to get our ignites and use our cast on Ignite. So this is giving us more comets faster. We're also using inspiration for the reduced cost. Comet is quite expensive, and we burn through mana quick. We'll talk about there is something we're using where the enemies we kill are dropping things on the ground. If we pick them up, it refills our mana and it increases our max mana for a time. So it kind of just feeds the madness with the comets. But yeah, well, the energy gain is important. We're also using inspiration for less costs. We're using glaciation for more freeze buildup. We are freezing enemies. We have quite a bit of utility, quite a few ways to control the battlefield. Like we are using time freeze. We'll talk about that. That works on bosses. So when we use our time freeze, it'll freeze a boss solid for enough time for us to build up ignites, rain comets down. Once our time freeze stops, we usually freeze the boss with comets. So there's a lot of CC that's happening just naturally in the background as we're playing the game. And then the final support is Frost Nexus. It's nice. Again, this is just more control of the battlefield. When our comets hit, it leaves frost patches on the ground that will freeze enemies. This here, Blasphemy, we're using Blasphemy and we are socketing Temporal Chains, which is really nice. What Blasphemy does is we don't have to cast our Temporal Chains. It just put an aura around us. Everything that gets caught in the aura is slowed. We're supporting that with Ritualistic Curse, just for the zones. We'll talk about that as well when I show a little demo. And then increase slow magnitude with encumbrance and heightened curses for the magnitude. It really, really slows packs down. I do have Solar Orb. This is primarily for Font of Mana and Font of Blood. It's just if we need it, nice little boost to sustain when we're standing near it. I don't use it that much. We are using Mana Remnants. This is what I was talking about when we are killing enemies. What happens here is a slain enemy basically drops these little fonts. We pick them up and gain mana. We're supporting that with Magnetism. And we are supporting that with Dissipate. I have Flame Wall. I don't really use Flame Wall. I just wanted my button, just had an extra spell. I used Flame Wall for leveling, supported it with Fortress and Spell Cascade. It's not necessary. You can completely take that out if you don't want it. We are putting Persistence in our time freeze for the more skill duration. And we are using Temporal Rift. Now this is super nice too. As you can see behind my character, it drops these little clones. Basically what happens is when I use Temporal Rift, it's going to revert me back there. Whoop, 4 seconds. It puts me back in position where I was 4 seconds ago. It puts me back where my mana was 4 seconds ago. 2, 3, whoop, boom, full mana, as you can see. This is a nice little get out of jail free card. It's up all the time. Once you get used to playing with it, you lower mana, boom, pop out. You can be moving around, you take a big hit, boom, you pop out. It puts your life, your energy shield, and your mana back to what it was 4 seconds ago. So it's a little bit clunky at the start because the tells aren't super obvious, but it's really nice once you get used to it. It just adds a layer of tankiness, and we'll be supporting that with Ingenuity for the cooldown. We're not playing Living Bomb or Volatile Dead. I have Concentrated Effect here. The reason why I have it is we're using Magnified Effect on our Incinerate when we're mapping, and we use Concentrated Effect when we're bossing. So I just, before I go to a boss, swap it out and put it back. So that is basically our skill gems. I'll show a demo of mapping and a demo of bossing. At the end, I'll also add a tier 15 map run, just so you guys can see what it looks like. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the passives. Passives are important. Again, Chronomancer is incredible. The sustain is just nuts. I would probably start apex of the moment. Just for the slow, when you're leveling, it's super nice. And then I would probably work my way down here to get Temporal Rift, which is our little blink, reverts us back in time. You go all the way down to get Time Freeze, and then this is our recoup, notable recoup passive. This is really, really important for our sustain. I will post a link to Artborn's build. He has a nice Path of Building and a nice Mogolytics build guide as to how he built this character up. But we went up the right side for more energy shield. Once we get there's a specific unique, and we'll talk about that unique in the gearing section. Once we get it, it really, that's what adds our recoup to our energy shield and really makes us incredibly tanky. So more energy shield, the better. We're utilizing 3 gems. Gems are, what's important is you pretty much want magnitude of ignites. I think I have it on all 3 of my gems. Spell damage on that one, and recoup is good too. More recoup, the better. I like the mana on kill. That's really nice, even though it's only 2%, it helps quite a bit. So we are utilizing the 3 gems, but yeah, we're pretty much just working our way up. I have all the recoup nodes here, which are important with this build. I like the increased freeze build up because we are playing Comet in our cast on Ignite. But if you weren't going to play Comet and you were going to play something else, you may want to get rid of this section here. Some other notable passives. This build is mana hungry. It burns through mana a lot. So I like this here, just the added maximum mana. And we're trying just to scale our damage with slows as well as with ignites. So we kind of work our way through and take all these notable passives here. For our ignites, this is a nice energy shield node here. I think to finish the build, I'll kind of go up here, work my way to overexposure, and then work my way up to Stormbreaker. And I haven't really thought of it beyond that. But yeah, this is kind of what your endgame build will look like. We'll talk a little bit about leveling shortly here as well. So equipment, what is important? So the only unique you need for this build, I guess there's 2. You need Crackle Creep. This is very cheap. There's tons of them out right now for dirt cheap. And then you can start that right off the bat. It's really nice. It basically just, when you tap a pack and light one thing on fire, Crackle Creep will spread the ignites to everything else. Excuse me. We are also using this mantle here, the Sacrosanctum Corvus Mantle. Now, this is what is allowing our recoup to apply to our energy shield. The chaos resistance is also really nice, but that's the most important thing. And let's see, how much spirit? So I have 12 spirit remaining, so I needed a high spirit roll on this. But this unique, you can't get until, I don't think, level 68, I think is the lowest I've seen it. But this is massive for our sustain. You want to get a high spirit roll on that, and I needed a high spirit roll on this as well to kind of meet my spirit needs. On the belt, we're pretty much, strength is important. You need the strength for this. I think I'm rocking 122 strength, 29 of that came with this, so I got strength on the belt. You don't have to if you can make it up elsewhere. These are kind of just your standard boots. It was important for me to get the fire and lightning res to cap my resistances. More energy shield and more life is good, but you want as much energy shield as you can get on your gear. Yeah, and it's nice. I like to try and get rarity where I can. I think right now I'm running, 110 rarity, which is good. But again, prioritizing energy shield, prioritizing life, making sure your resistances are maxed out. You definitely want, where do I have it? I think it's here. You want the 2 of all spell skills on your amulet. And then, yeah, on your weapons, you want a red wand. And you want the 4 to all spells on your wand. And then on your focus, you want the 2 to all spells there to get your +6 to all spells. Your focus, again, energy shield, incredibly important. Fire damage if you can get it. Any resistances you can get are good. Your wand, again, fire damage. The cold damage was just just came on the wand, and the mana regen was nice, but not necessary or not needed. And then the helmet, you definitely want as high an energy shield you can get on the helmet as possible. As far as our flasks, they're very just standard flasks, nothing special about them. This I found to be really nice, this charm right here. Just the added chaos resistance, and it's quite a lot when you get hit. And then 50% of the damage you prevent is recouped as life and mana. This I found to be very worth it. And then just a standard thawing charm, I don't like to be frozen, as well as the stone charm for stun. Now, when you're leveling, you can pick one of these up, the Searing Touch staff. The lowest I think I've seen it was 36, level 36, but as soon as you can get this is really, really nice for leveling. Once I got this staff at 41, I didn't change weapons until 78 for this dagger and this focus. This staff, I didn't even corrupt it, but if you can get a 3-socket on here, this will carry you for sure. But priority, I would say, getting your resistances maxed, and then finding a way to scale your energy shield up makes the build function really well. So yeah, with that, we'll go over an example, a map. We'll just throw a map in, tier 15, and yeah. This build has been incredibly fun. It has not been very expensive to gear. I think I might be in like 2.5, maybe 3 divines. I've been saving divines like crazy. I've actually invested quite a few divines in some other builds. But this has been a great currency farmer for me. It's an absolute blast. I've had a ton of fun playing it and gearing it up. I was maining my bleed ritualist. This is way tankier than that build. I can face roll most things. For mapping, this build doesn't struggle at all. It has great clear speed. For bossing, it definitely doesn't do as much damage as my bleed ritualist for bossing, but it does the job just fine. I haven't struggled at all on bosses. Yeah, so if there's any builds that you would like to see, any off-meta builds that you want me to investigate, or any builds that you've seen, I would absolutely love to hear about it in the comments of the video. And yeah, thank you all for joining me and jumping in and checking this out. I've had a ton of fun playing this, and I think most people, it's a little bit slower of a playstyle. It's not incredibly fast, but it's nice. Slowing the enemies down is really nice. It kind of sets the pace, and I've really enjoyed it. I think you could probably pull this build off on most ascendancies. But Chronomancer, I think, has got to be one of the tankiest ascendancies. Chronomancer paired with this chest right here is just, it's so strong. It's so good. So, yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and I will roll a clip of a tier 15 map if anybody wants to check it out. Thank you so much. While we're going through, I'll talk a little bit about what's happening here. So we'll make sure we have our magnified effect for our mapping, and what we're doing is we're pretty much just tapping a pack and watching them melt. As you will see, if I take any hits, I'll take some hits here. My recoup recoups the energy shield so fast. Things just can't kill me. As you'll see on the ground, once some of these things die, I think I picked it up. But yeah, we're pretty much just gonna walk along like a flamethrower and tap packs, ignite them, and watch them melt. Our mana is, let's see. Every once in a while, packs will drop these little purple orbs. When we pick them up, it fills our mana up full. Nice. Yeah, this build is incredibly tanky, far tankier than my... Oh, what's happening here? I don't know why it does this to me. It's only when I'm rocking DirectX, but when I'm rocking DirectX, every once in a while, it's like It's almost like I disconnect. I don't take damage, I don't die. It's like I disconnect, and then my fog of war on my map comes back. So, yeah, this is kind of the general mapping experience. Everything in our vicinity is slowed with temporal chains. And we're gonna walk around, controlling the battlefield, lighting things on fire, and raining comets down on their head. As we go looking for these flares. And our energy shield, the recharge there, as you can see, when I get hit, it recoups just incredibly fast. I haven't even taken a big meaty hit yet, but when you take a big, chunky hit with this build, as long as it doesn't one-shot you, like the recoup is so good for the chip damage that you take. But we're pretty much just walking around, we're picking up these mana orbs. You can pretty much one-tap a pack and move forward, let the comet finish them off. If you really want to burn things, you can just channel your Incinerate. So you guys, you can see that rotor is frozen. We do inflict quite a lot of freezes with this build. It's really nice. Temporal chains is what that curse is. That's on all these mobs' head, which is slowing them, and our damage is scaling. The more slows we inflict, the more enemies slow, the more damage we do. But yeah, our Incinerate does a decent amount of damage, but our like the bulk of our damage is coming from our ignites. So once the pack is ignited, you can just carry on and continue. You don't have to channel on enemies. I just want to finish them off, but. And as you can see on our energy shield there, it is recouping rather quickly. I do have to press my mana flask quite often. Just with the plus levels to skills, our comet does take a lot of mana. So I am pressing my flask. I am still picking up the mana orbs, which is really nice. They're really nice way to sustain comets. I did play, I think in 1.0, okay, there we go. So we're at the boss. I am going to pull out my concentrated effect, replace magnified effect on the Incinerate just for more damage. We're going to go in and we're going to start by hitting our time stop, and we are just going to sit here and channel. What'll happen is he should freeze any minute now. Took a big hit there, and our energy shield is recouping quickly. I've really enjoyed just how tanky this build is. You can pretty much just be a walking flamethrower. We've taken some more damage, so our energy shield will start to recoup. We do have a decent amount of life too, so if I really needed to move around, oh, a nice hit there. But yeah, essentially that's pretty much how this build works. So we'll finish the map, we may as well. But yeah, a little bit of a bossing example there. Temporal chains, they work on bosses as well, which is really nice. That magnitude of slow is really, really nice. This build has a ton of control. I find it to be incredibly fun. It's nothing like my friend's what's it, lightning lightning spear build. He's clearing just incredibly quickly with that. But the whole purpose of this channel is to make non-meta builds that will clear in-game content, that will get you to the end of the game. This build was really easy to level. I leveled Incinerate. Yeah, I think I leveled your standard Spark. What is that? I'll have to look at that later. I leveled Spark until I could get Incinerate, and then just as soon as I could get cast on Ignite, I started playing it. I think I played Fireballs, cast on Ignite Fireballs until I could get Comet. What I'll do here is just pour it out. A little bit of defensive power there. Yeah, I think the next time we talk about this build, it'll be to show how it scales with crit, because I do believe this build will scale better. I've seen variations of it that are using crit to scale the damage. A little bit more complex, costs a little bit more, but we'll probably transition into doing that as we get into like the deeper end game with this build. So yeah, with that, I'm not going to finish this right now, but with that, I thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.